Thank you. I'm your host, Mick Storego, and we have a great show for you tonight with appearances from Winston Churchill and Joseph Stalin. Now, as most of you already know, the Munich conference wrapped up last night in Munich, and British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain has agreed to allow Adolf Hitler to annex parts of Czechoslovakia in order to keep the peace with the Germans. Now, that's pretty much good news for everybody, right? Unless you live in Czechoslovakia. In sports, the Chicago Cubs clinched the National League pennant earlier today and are set to face off against the Yanks in the World Series later this week, sure to be the most lopsided match in recorded history. I'm sorry, Chicago. Your odds of winning are about as good as China's against Japan right now. In pop culture news, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs has officially broken the box office record for highest grossing sound film of all time. This might not last long, though, with the highly anticipated release of MGM's Gone with the Wind next year. Now, if I were you, Walt Disney, I'd go ahead and slip Clark Gable a poison apple. Anyway, it's going to be a great show tonight. We got Churchill and Stalin coming up right after the break. Welcome back. Right now, I'd like to welcome our first guest, a personal friend of mine, Winston Churchill. Wow, Winston Churchill. Great to have you with us. How are the wife and kids?
Well, Michael, you know how it is.
I certainly do. Now, I'm going to get right down to business. We both know what happened at the Munich conference yesterday. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was a bloody mess.
Wow. Could you elaborate, please?
Yes. People don't understand who we're dealing with here. This is Adolf Hitler. He wrote Mein Kampf. It shows that he's determined. Giving him just a bit of the Czechs' land is not going to solve any problems.
It will only create them, right?
Exactly.
Now, this is a very big question and one that everybody's wondering, so I'm just going to put it out there right now. Do you think that war is the right way to deal with this threat?
Listen, Michael. I served in the Great War, and I would not wish anyone to undergo those horrors again. However, Adolf Hitler is a very real threat, possibly the greatest this world has ever faced. If we do not dispose of his reign with dignity and without delay, the world will crumble under Hitler's rule.
Wow, very, very well said. Do you think that Prime Minister Chamberlain is not aware of the threat at hand?
Prime Minister Chamberlain is a great man. And yes, he does, to an extent, perceive the magnitude of the threat at hand. What he does not understand is that there are some men who will not make peace, and I believe Adolf Hitler is one of those men.
Wow, very, very well said. Coming up next, we have Joseph Stalin, so please stay tuned. Welcome back. It looks like our friend Joseph is running a little bit late tonight, so in the meantime, why don't we check out this message from our friends at the League of Nations.
Introducing Collective Security, the all-new home defense system. Collective Security will protect your home 24/7, even when you're not there. Our patented, state-of-the-art security system will alert all of your neighbors the second a break-in occurs. They will then be obligated to rush to your home and beat the living crap out of the intruders.
You know, what I really love about Collective Security is that you really get what you pay for. I've been robbed 56 times in the past year, and even though Collective Security hasn't worked for any of them. I just feel safer knowing that it's there. It's protection, right?
There's no need for military-grade service systems. Why spend hundreds of dollars when you can buy collective security for practically nothing?
Yeah.
Call 1-800-555-6569 to secure your neighborhood today. That's 1-800-555-6569. Collective security. It probably works. Just trust us.
Hope you enjoyed that message from our sponsors. Now, without further ado, here is the one and only Joseph Stalin. Welcome to our show, Joseph Stalin. Now, for first order of business tonight, gentlemen, I would like to address some issues about the Great Depression. Okay, what do you think was the cause of the Depression?
Capitalism caused the Depression. The failure of American and European economies brought the crash of '29, and it brought the world down with it.
Now, Stalin, I think...
Commander Joseph Stalin, you're not even a general.
Right, Stalin. You have to understand that the crash of '29 only triggered the Depression. The long-term cause was European economies being bled dry.
Capitalist European economies.
Yes.
Correct?
But if you let me finish,
You would have finished.
you would have heard that these economies were being bled dry from the Great War.
Whereas communism today is still thriving.
No.
Yes.
Whoa, hold on. Let's move on to the rest of the question. What do you think the effect the Depression will have on the rest of the world as we know it?
The effect is obvious, isn't it? Capitalism has been proven to be corrupt and unstable, whereas communism is thriving, communism is prosperous. The crash has opened the eyes of the people. The masses have spoken. There will be a revolution.
Now, Michael,
I was not finished.
Yes, you were. I assume you're ready to hear the intelligent answer, Michael. And the answer to your question is, quite honestly, nobody knows. Nothing in human history has compared to the predicament we're in right now. People are scared. Terrifying new entities have arisen all over the world. The National Socialist Party in Germany. Dictatorships popping up left and right. And yes, even communism.
Communism is not terrifying unless you're a weakling like this thing here. It is obvious how much better communism is. How do you not understand that?
And what evidence do you have to support that communism is the newfound...
The evidence is all around you.
Wait, speaking of evidence, I'd like to point out a 1933 article printed in Britain's The Daily Express titled "Millions Starving in Russia." Russia today is in the grip of famine, which is proving disastrous as the catastrophe of when millions died. Everywhere was the cry, "There is no bread, we are dying." The cry came to me from all parts of Russia. Mr. Stalin, how do you explain that if Russia has been prospering for the last 10 years?
Of course a British newspaper would say that. The article was merely an attempt to deface the reputation of our glorious, prosperous nation. There are no pictures and no proof. The bias is easy enough for a 10-year-old to spot. Unfortunately, I sit here next to two toddlers.
Mr. Churchill, do you agree?
Ignoring the extreme lack of maturity from my acquaintance here, I do regrettably agree with half of Joey's statements. Now, he is right in saying that an English journalist may have some anti-communist bias, but he is very wrong in saying that the lack of photographic evidence indicates lack of truth. This man sitting next to me controls everything printed by the Soviet Union. Anyone who gives a bad mouth to the USSR will literally be killed by this man. That is why there's no concrete proof that there's famine in
Where is
Russia.
your proof? You have no proof. No one will ever believe you.
Lock your doors tonight, people, because there you go.
Are you calling me a murderer?
And a quite dim-witted one at that.
Ha! It is you who are the fool. You were once a soldier, but now you are nothing. I rule an empire 1,000 times larger than your puny little island, which makes me 1,000 times better than you will ever be.
Now, Mr. Stalin, I find it increasingly hard to believe that your wife died of appendicitis.
I will kill you.
How the hell did you get this past my security?
Death is the solution to all problem. No man, no problem.
What the did you do to my security guard?
He died of appendicitis.